So here we go. The first card you have for your past is the Hierophant. So I'm seeing a lot of kind of expectations in this card. People thinking that you had to kind of be everyone's kind of go-to person, or everyone's rock, or everyone's kind of special person that they can come to and you'll do things for them, and or something like that. There's a lot of expectations on you from other people, or there was at this time. And I think, people are expecting things from you. They're expecting all sorts of different things from you at this time. And you're a strong person. Obviously, you're Leo. You're a strong person. You are strength. But, you can only do what you can do. You can't do the impossible. And you should only do what you're prepared to do and what you think is fair for you to do, not what other people think is fair for you to do. I'm actually seeing more than one person might have been expecting you to be really like the rock of everyone else. It might be your family. You might be expected to be kind of the rock of the family, or the strength of the family, not just family, but it was all sorts of different people that were expecting you to be kind of their strength, if that makes sense. And, maybe also you're seen as like a key person that people go to for help or advice. And I'm seeing key because I'm just looking at this key. There are these two keys in front of the Hierophant's feet. And obviously this is a compliment. Part of you thought that, yes, people think I'm strong, they think I'm there, they can all rely on me, they ask me for things, I'm very smart, all of that kind of thing. So yes, it is a compliment, it does have a good side. But also, this can also sometimes be an excuse for people to, not everyone, but some people might... they might not be taking responsibility for themselves. They might be expecting you to do that for them. So there's a risk of that as well. And there's a risk of everyone just kind of being a little bit lazy and saying, oh, well, Leo will do this, Leo will do that, they'll organise it, I'll just go along with what they want. And it can be very hard being everyone's brain all the time. And I think that's what people were expecting you to be. And if you look at this Hierophant, his ears are covered, so he doesn't listen to the outside world. He only listens to his higher calling. That's why his ears are covered. So, if this resonates, this is what this is telling you. Spend less time listening to what other people expect you to do and want you to do, and listen more to what you want to do. Listen to your inner voice and listen to your inner soul. What do you deep down want to do yourself? Not just what other people want to do. Think about you, how you feel. Think about what you want. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So the next card you have for your past is the High Priestess. So another very spiritual card. So again, go inside yourself. I'm seeing a similar thing again. Look inside yourself to what you want, to what your soul wants, not what the outside world wants. That's what I'm trying to say. What the outside world wants. That's why I'm getting confused. So yeah, don't listen to just the outside world. Listen to your inner world. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm also seeing a really strong connection actually between you and someone else in this card. Quite a strong intuitive spiritual connection, but this is probably a love connection. I'm seeing that they might have been maybe long distance at this time, or maybe separated from you in some way at this time, but not completely separated, because I'm seeing that you are probably still talking to this person. But this is a connection that you can feel. You could feel this over distances. And yeah, you might have been talking to this person, but maybe not very much, or maybe not very often, or something like that. But it was like you'd think of them and then you'd hear from them. It was that kind of very special, intuitive connection you had with this person. I can't see if you're actually together with this person at this time, because there's a lot of up and down energy around this, because I'm just looking at this crescent moon. And also, if you look, I'll just move this so you can see. There's a crescent moon, and then her dress around the crescent moon looks a bit like rippling waves or water or something like that. So, when I think about the moon and then I think about water, I think about the tides. And obviously the tides are affected by the moon and they go up and down. And so this is what I'm thinking, that your feelings toward this person have gone up and down over time, like the tides. Just move that back again. So, yeah, so I'm seeing also that maybe deep down you really, really wanted to be with this person. You were kind of separated but talking, that kind of thing. So there's a bit of a grey area around whether you were together or not. And yeah, deep down you probably wanted to be with them. But I think you might have been keeping this to yourself, actually, because the High Priestess can be about secrets. So it's not like you were keeping secrets, but it was just like you were kind of not really saying much about this to other people. And I think that might have been because you knew that other people might have a lot to say about this. They might say, oh, you don't want them back, oh, blah, blah, blah. And you just didn't need to hear that. So you were just kind of keeping that to yourself. That's what I'm seeing. So the last card you have for your past is the Nine of Cups. So, I think generally at this time, I mean, if you look at this man, he looks quite content with himself. So you were generally quite content with a lot of things in your life, at least from an outsider's perspective. If someone looked in on your life, they'd say, well, this person's content, they have everything, everything's fine with them. But again, I'm seeing that you might be feeling a bit alone, maybe secretly alone, maybe secretly wishing that you were closer to this person in the High Priestess. Because the man on this card, he looks content, he looks satisfied with himself, obviously, but he is by himself. And also he's probably hiding something behind this curtain. So again, nobody knew how much you truly missed this person. You were keeping this all to yourself behind the curtain. That's what I'm seeing again in that card. So really it's similar to what I was seeing pretty much in the High Priestess. So yeah, the first card you have for your present is the Two of Swords. So yes, listen to yourself. That's what I'm seeing again, similar to what I'm seeing in the Hierophant. And, if you start to listen to yourself rather than listening to other people who expect you to be kind of strong for them all the time, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be an easy process for you to do this. And, I'm not saying that you should never listen to anyone or you shouldn't help anyone or anything like that. I'm not saying the opposite extreme. I'm just saying that you need to be discerning. You need to try to discern between help that's needed, truly needed, and help that isn't needed. There's some help that people truly need. Of course, you need to go and help people like that, of course. But if there's a kind of a thing where people are being a bit lazy, or they just want you to think for them, or they just want you to do things for them just because they kind of just want to leave it to you, then of course they're the people who you don't want to help. Now, there are going to be some people who are going to really struggle to get used to doing things for themselves, but that's what they need to learn. And, as I'm seeing in this card, if you want to be true to yourself, if you want your true self back that you kind of lost in the Hierophant with all these people expecting everything from you, and the Hierophant and the High Priestess is about your inner world, your spirituality. If you want your true self back, you're going to have to be very strict with a lot of these people who are expecting things from you. Because if you look at the woman on this card, she has her eyes closed because she's blindfolded, obviously, and she probably has her ears closed as well. That blindfold, I think, looks like it's going around her ears as well. So, and, nobody could get close to this woman either if they wanted to, because she has her great big swords up. So I'm not saying you need to kind of have your swords up and poke everyone with your swords who wants to come near you. And obviously you don't want to isolate yourself totally. That's an extreme again. But if this resonates, you are going to have to step up and, set up some boundaries between you and these people. You're going to have quite clear boundaries, and you're going to have to be quite strict about those boundaries. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have for your present is the Six of Wands. So, yeah, I'm seeing this love connection. I'm seeing this love connection in the High Priestess. And what I'm seeing is that, yeah, I'm seeing someone's very proud, actually. This person's quite proud. Okay, I'll just tell you what I'm seeing. Okay, the man in this card, he's kind of sort of up on his high horse, which is in this, and this horse is beautifully groomed, beautifully decorated. It's presented so well. So this person's presenting a kind of a thing to the world, a certain face to the world, but actually I'm seeing they might be hiding something. And, you know, again, I'm seeing you've been on and off with this person, and I think something's stopping them from becoming closer to you. And I'm seeing that the thing that's stopping them from coming closer to you is that they might have something to admit to you. Now, something's happened. Something could have happened at a time when you were separated, because I'm seeing this on and off thing going on. Now, I don't want to stress you. I don't want you to think anything really terrible's happened. But I think you might have already sensed that something was going on, because I think, you know, you have this kind of spiritual connection with this person, this intuitive connection, and you probably sensed something was happening. I'm seeing that they, you know, then they know that they should admit something to you, but their pride's in the way. That's what I'm seeing. That's why I'm seeing this man on this high horse up with all these people kind of looking at him, and he's very proud. He has his head up, his nose is kind of in the air. So this person is a little bit, well, no more than a little bit, they're too proud to come and tell you what this is. And that might be what that barrier is between you. I hope that makes sense to you. The last card you have for your present is Justice. So yeah, this person's probably still carrying a lot of this around inside their head. They're keeping a lot of things to themselves. But because they're keeping this to themselves, this thing that they should really admit to you or tell you about, they're feeling quite out of balance inside their heads and emotionally. And, you know, they're trying to run around, they're trying to keep busy, they're trying to keep their heads full, their life full of things, so that they don't think about this thing. But, you know, they try, and they can forget things for a while, but then what happens is it pops into their head, obviously, and then they're all kind of emotionally out of balance again. So if this resonates with you, I'm seeing that... yeah, again, I'm seeing you're probably sensing this. You have this intuitive kind of connection with this person. I keep on seeing that. And I don't actually think there's a lot you can do about this. I think that this is something that only they can work through themselves, and they can only tell you this when they're actually 100% ready to. That's what I'm seeing. And it might take a lot for them to be ready. It might take a lot of time for this to happen. That's what I'm seeing. So the first card you have for your future is the Sun. So obviously this is a beautiful card, beautiful positive card. Yeah, I'm seeing that they will eventually open up. They will eventually admit this to you. This card can be about breakthroughs, obviously very happy breakthroughs, because the beautiful child on this card has broken through this wall behind this child. So yeah, there's a wall, and they're broken through, and then they've come into the sun after they've broken through. So they've broken through a barrier, and then it's beautiful and sunny and wonderful. So that's what's going to happen. They are going to eventually tell you. I can't tell you exactly how or when this is going to happen, but you know, I'm definitely seeing an eventual positive outcome coming from this. But you know, you're obviously going to have a lot to work through with this person first before the sun comes out. But it is going to come out. That's what I'm seeing. And also I'm seeing with this card, there is going to be a lot of passion. This is fantastic. You're going to have a lot of amazing passion between you with this beautiful red banner that this child's holding. It's floating through the air freely, and that's, you know, beautiful passion between you. But that's going to happen eventually after you've kind of worked through all of this together, and then you've had this kind of breakthrough. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have for your future is the beautiful Ace of Pentacles, which is fantastic. I mean, you've got the Sun and now you've got the Ace of Pentacles. So this definitely has the potential to grow into something very stable between you. And yeah, this is just so beautiful. But again, you know, this is also showing me that before you get to this stage, you're going to have to work through a lot together, but it's all in front of you. It's all going to be quite obvious as to what you have to do, because there's this beautiful golden path and it goes through this hedge up into the mountain, and you can see it all in front of you when you have this Ace of Pentacles out in front of you, giving you this beautiful gift. And you know, not many people get this really special second chance in their relationship. That road is very narrow, and that opening in that hedge is very, very narrow. Not many people see this, but you are going to see this, and so are they. So please take advantage of that. Please do all the hard work to get you through this opening and up that mountain. And if you do all this work and you're both very honest with each other and you're both very open with each other and all of that, then, you know, I think that you are going to have a very, very happy, very stable future. That's what I'm seeing. So the last card you have for your future is the Queen of Wands. Again, I'm seeing positivity. I'm looking at this beautiful sunflower that this Queen's holding up in her hand. And if you look at this sunflower and you look at the sunflowers, I should say, in the Sun card, all of those sunflowers usually grow toward the sun, but they're all pointing toward you. They're all facing you. So the sun is going to be on you. This means positivity, happiness to you, toward you. So, and also this card is you, because there are lions all over this card. So the other thing I'm seeing in this card is that I'm seeing that you're going to be getting a lot of areas in your life back into order at this time. The Queen of Wands is very well organized. She's very orderly. And I'm seeing that you might have quite a few unfinished things that were left hanging around, that you're going to have this energy and this optimism. You're going to be able to finish all of these things. Now, back in the past, when you're in the Hierophant, you were drained by all of these people. It was really draining. You had no energy. You had all these things that were left undone. You didn't have time to do. But then I'm seeing you probably have put these barriers up that I'm seeing in the Two of Swords. And now you have more freedom and more energy to finish all of these things. So I'm actually seeing you walking into a literal room and seeing all these unfinished projects and things and errands, all different things, and you're just going to pick them up and start finishing them all. So it's going to be very satisfying for you when you do all of this. So you've got this really satisfied feeling I'm getting, confidence, more time, more energy, and this beautiful relationship, this beautiful Sun and this beautiful Ace of Pentacles.